general. So I think like questions along those lines are a good opportunity to start, thinking in the broader lens, like why are we here? What are we trying to do here? So like I don't know. I think questions like your favorite, like ideal governance type, or like economic models that um you like to see, etc. Like ethical economic models that you see in the world, or Web3 that are being deployed, etc. Yeah, those are questions I like. Even though not as fun, I like to see them sometimes. And I'll pass it to Costa.
Thank you. Me, otherwise, I would prefer lighter questions like what book did you read? What ice cream do you like? Because even though I like the conversations like last week, it was really good to have a conversation about more important topics. Sometimes I just want to break the ice, not break my brain, just right from the start of the call. And I'll pass it on to Nate.
Yeah, I get in moods where like both of those types of questions are really amazing. I like lighter questions most of the time, but I would say like if I had to ask a question, I like questions that capture kind of your essence of why you're here as a contributor, as a person participating in this, in the TEC, and that's like like if you could build one thing, what would it be? In Web3. And I think that would be, the type of question that would be really fun for people to answer. I'd just like to hear all different answers, like what brought you here? What if you could build anything, what would it be? So yeah, that's a question I would like. I'll pass it over to Bear.
Hello, Bear. The icebreaker question for today is, what questions would you like to be asked as an intro questions? You can answer in a generic fashion, or you can answer with a specific question that you would like to just be a topic of conversation.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm reading the answers that you guys have provided, and yeah, I agree with them. I think I would really like more like simple questions to kind of like get to know each other better on a more like, let's say, personal level. I think that would be cool. But also more about the essence and the purpose of why we're here and what we like doing and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I would agree with those. I'll pass it to Gideon.
Thanks, Bear. Yeah, actually, I agree. I think like a mix is always good. It's like the kinds of things that you would find out by just hanging out and having a beer or having a meal together. But also, so like kind of just fun, that kind of stuff. And then I also really like to go deep. Like I want to understand why people are here too. Like why are they? There's so many other places people could be working, and making a lot more money, and it would probably be easier and clearer, like this is, there are challenges here. So why are you here? Like trying to understand that, I think is really important for us in terms of like knowing each other and the motivations for why we're here. Yeah. I will pass to, I don't know sorry, I came a little bit late. Have you gone?
No worries. I will pass it on to you.
Yes, I have. So maybe to Auntie.
Yes, there you go.
Cool. Thanks. Yeah. Well, this is not a question, but when on a few of the SoftGov meetings that I had here, Libby had like some meditation stuff for the intro, and I thought that was really nice, and it would be great to have them again. And back to you, because I'm not sure either who's left.
No worries. Jean, nice to see you here. Would you like to answer the question?
Sure, thanks, I do. Yeah, I guess as an intro question, I like to think about asking somebody what they're passionate about, kind of the same essence, spirit question, what drives them, what makes them tick, where their motivations lie. Maybe that will help answer why they're there and how they think they can contribute.
Thank you. I will close this by saying that I would like questions that feel honest, or that you can sort of, make people think a little bit more than what they usually do. I think there's an honesty on awareness. So I like questions that makes people think a little bit deeper, and questions that can bring some aspect that I wouldn't know virtually. It could be maybe as simple as Costa mentioned, like an ice cream question. But if I ask you why, then that provides me an extra information about that person that I think is valuable. So yeah, I think even if it's a very simple question, I would like to have like a tweak into the deepness of that simple question, so you can justify. Maybe we will get to know a little bit more about you. So I will say these are my suggestions for questions. So the idea of this was to just provide some pool of options for Irem and Costa for the next meetings that they will be facilitating. This meeting that they will be facilitating, so they can at least have some references of what people want to talk about. All right. That being said, we have these 4 topics for today's agenda: Discord updates, multi-sig updates, reputation update, and the feedback orientation call. But if anyone else have something else you would like to add to this agenda, feel free to do so. Since I didn't have anything else in mind, that's why the agenda is quite sort of short. So I'm sharing here on the chat the agenda, just in case someone doesn't have it at hand, and feel free to add anything or to just suggest it on the spot. Discord updates. So I don't know, Irene or Costa, who would like to provide an update on what happened this week with Discord?
Yeah, so I think it actually went really well, that we got a lot of consensus around just removing or merging some of the channels and archiving certain ones. And it was mainly the ones we talked about last week. I don't even remember exact names of those, but you can find it in last week's notes. But for example, now in the community section, there are way less channels. Like Lounge is gone, Ideas is gone, and it's all near general. And I remember we wanted to change the name of that channel, but still didn't decide what we should name it. So maybe something like, if you guys have any ideas right now, we can talk about that. Like general chat, general or conversation or something along those lines. In terms of some of the working groups, I talked to Livia, and just got her opinion too about legal labs and some of the other working group ones that are not super used anymore. So she said we can archive those as well. And Costa, we can maybe just do it right now. But yeah, like in general, I think we eliminated or just archived around 6, 7, 8 different channels. And now I think Start Here section is way clear. There's your guide and verification. And after that, it's just introduce yourself. And we put the orientation call, the voice chat under that as well. Yeah, so if anyone actually can take a minute right now to just look over the channels, if there's anything that strikes you, anything you want to add, and any ideas about renaming this general chat channel, that'd be great if we can do it right now, and if anyone has ideas.
Could you repeat, please, Iram, which ones you said I can delete already?
Not delete, but archive labs and legal.
Okay.
And even T Governance Guild, actually. Because it's in soft gov, I mean, a lot of that conversation and working that happens. So those 3 we can archive.
Is there any other recommendation from folks that are on this call about any other changes you would like to see on Discord?
I have a general directional suggestion, but it's not specific naming. On the community section, I think that the category name community is great because it provides context. So if you look at it, community announcements, that's good. Um, I think that same thing with like the community signal, like that's going to need to be, the curation is going to need to be like a similar kind of thing that's like community sharing. I don't know what it would be called, but similarly, like general, I think it should be like community conversation or community chat or community something like that, where it's like, that when you go there, you're just going to see like community having a talk, conversation may be a good one. But yeah, the main point is it's assumed that it's community. And so then we just like keep it noun or verb and just like one word if we can.
Yeah, I like that. So you suggest just one word as it follows community, like community announcements, community conversation, community praise, etc. Did you say conversation? Any other ideas for general, Gideon? I remember you mentioned another, one more, or was it only that?
I think, yeah, I wish I were better at these kinds of things. Like, I think conversation is what it is, but like that sounds so bland, like I don't know if there's like a fun way, but still like it has to be super clear so people like understand what it is. I don't know. It'd be interesting to hear other people's thoughts on that.
What
Yeah.
about like the usual social media feed, like community feed?
I think that will invite to a lot of spam. Because I like the idea of conversation. It's simple and it's what basically happens in general. So, or change it to talk here, or let's talk here. But I will stay with that or with conversations.
Maybe this is a conversation for later, but actually, I think feed is perfect for the curation service. It sort of looks like
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I actually like that too, at least to use it for something. I like community signal now that I was just thinking, I wonder if we can ask. I think we can ask this to outsiders that don't know much about the content curation service, because, and yeah, we can talk about this later too, but just quick note that to us, I think it's, we were talking about finding a name that is self-explanatory and not super complicated. But I wonder if it's self-explanatory for us, since we've been building this now and we have initial context and bias towards, sensing this as something super self-explanatory. I think community feed could even be more explanatory in that direction. But yeah, we can talk about this later in content creation meeting as well. But a good idea. So thank you for bringing it up, Costa and T. I agree honestly with feed.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump on that board too. I think feed is good. Something simple. I don't think this is not our place to brand anything. We just have to keep it super simple and obvious. It could be that on the back end, depending on how that evolves, that's where we actually name it something. But this is not the place to do it. Here is just like keep it super simple and clear. And I think it has to fit that same thing, like community something. And I think feed is pretty good. Like we could start with that and then, we can always change it, but like that's the best one I've heard so far.
The only thing I'm worried about with it being called feed or something is that, as I agree, that's probably a better name, but 99% of servers use general, and so whenever I have to look for something to chat, I always try to look for the general channel. And I'm not sure if we calling it different is any impediment or any. I don't know. I think people are used to use the general channel.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe we can just go with general conversation for now. If we can just add that, Costa, and we can see how we feel about it and maybe change it back to conversation. But you're right, and it's something I observed as well, just that general conversation. yeah, I think we can keep it like this for now. But if you guys have any other opinions.
Is it fitting on everybody's screen that way? To me, it just kind of rolls off. It's like I get general converse.
Yeah, same. I was thinking about that. Maybe general combo.
Yeah, I think just short is always good.
Yeah. Yeah, we can either leave it in conversations or general combo or general talk.
Okay,
Maybe
also,
talk.
maybe let's talk about this more. Just two of us do, and just brainstorm on these 3-4 ideas, and we can move to the multi-sig updates if nothing else on this.
Hey, can I just add one more thing? Maybe this is worth, like, to Enchi's point, just doing a quick scan of what some of the other more successful communities like Bankless and others are doing on this front, just to see, you know, like, yeah, if it is general and that's like 90%, then why try to fight it, you know? But it might help us to just kind of get, like, look at the best practices.
Yeah, Bankless, they have a general section, and under that they have DAO general brainstorm, contributor care. So they don't really have a general announcements or chat channel actually. But yeah, it's a good idea. I'll take a look on my own servers, but yeah, and we can share ideas here maybe in this doc today after this meeting if anyone wants to add anything. Here.
All right. Multi-sig. Yeah, go ahead.
Just a couple more things about the cleanup. I was just wondering if there's still like a need of having that calendars channel at the top. I don't know if it like feeds the events or does it have like a role there, or maybe we can delete that. So I would ask that, and also in the working group boys section, also the recordings channel. I also don't know if that's still playing an important role. I see that it was for the PowerBot that I don't know if it's active or if it can work or if it's like saving some recordings still. And the last one would be for the support section right at the bottom for the play your song channel there. I don't know if we could maybe find a better place for that one. And I don't know if play your song channel is the same thing as play music channel in the working group boys section. So yeah, just those three details that I wanted to bring to point out.
For the calendars, we left it because there you have the link to the Google Calendar, and anyone can like export the calendar to their Google. Otherwise, I don't know how we could help people do that.
Yeah, if there's any other channel that we can just link to the calendars, we could also do that. But there's already too much going on in other channels. Like, for example, introduce yourself. There will be multiple pin messages about the orientation call, etc. And with announcements and general talk too, there's probably going to be a lot of noise. So it doesn't bother me much to have the calendars by itself under events. But if it doesn't work, then yeah, we can just move the link to another channel. But I think we need that since people can export it to their own calendars.
Yeah, I think that's important to keep. I mean, it doesn't bother me, but to be honest, like until you were mentioning that the Google Calendar was there, I had no idea. I thought that it was just like a channel with no activity. But now that I go to the pinned message, yeah, I'm seeing the calendar. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe ideally we would find a different channel in the future to put that link into, but I guess we can leave it for now.
I really like it, and whoever just moved. Oh wait, where did it go? Yeah, I think it's good in community. Also, I would recommend putting the help up there, like community help, would be good too, I think. And then you can get rid of that whole category down below.
Yeah, I think play your song and play music are kind of the same thing, right?
Yeah, we have 2 bots on the server right now. I don't know who set up the 2 different bots and why there's 2 of them, but we should probably clarify that and just do one. And then it can just be in one place. And it seems to me like the natural place for that is in the working group voice, like, or we just call it voice channels, maybe. I don't know. Because you can only play it on the voice, right?
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't make it like we have 2 song channels, one in support that doesn't make sense. So yeah.
So should we move this play?
We have to check first which of these 2 bots works, and depending on that, then delete one, leave the other one, and move it up to the text, to the voice channels, like the play music one is already, and then move the help under support to community.
How do we know which one works?
I have no clue about that. Bear, you may know about these bots, or have you used?
If I check the chat, Acid Laser used it on the 26th, the play your song one. And where's the other one?
The other one is up on the text on the voice channel, just above Stuart's.
So Chip is the one that was the original one. That's what I use for Sampo every week. And Tempo is the new one. And I think we just need to look and see like which one's better, and then just pick one and stick with it. I don't. Yeah, I think it's just like maybe if somebody could just do a quick analysis of the 2, just looking at the 2 services and see.
I see Tempo everywhere. I mean, for the.
Yeah, me too. I see Tempo on both.
Yeah, so maybe just switch to that. I can switch the sample stuff over. If I'm the only one that's using that, then just get rid of the Chip.
Sorry, who is Chip? I don't see them anywhere.
Chip is. I'll show you. That's the service that we originally were using, and if you go to play music. Yeah, it's like that one that has like a little music. If you go to like play your music and then just scroll up a little bit, it's has the little orange and white circle with the music.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, that's the one. So that's the older one. But I mean, I think, yeah, if we can just we just do a quick look and see like which one of these is better. I don't know who has time to do that. I can do a quick comparison. Do you want me to do that? Just do like a feature comparison, and then we just decide. I could post it in Communitas.
Thank you, Gideon. Yeah, that'd be helpful. And we can just move the help to community now, actually. Costa, if you could do that.
Sorry, to repeat, I was writing on the agenda. What did you say?
Yeah, just moving the help section under support to community, and then we'll delete supports once we know which player song or player music bot we're using. And yeah, I think it's great to do it this way.
I think Rex might also have a good idea on which bot is better, because I'm seeing that he has like commented something on one of the bots, so maybe he knows something. I mean, we could ask him and just pin him and see what he thinks, I think. And also for the, I don't know if you guys know anything about the the recordings channel on the working group voice.
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
I'm trying to the recordings, but I'm trying to find it, but I don't see it. Where did you say it was?
Oh, I don't know. Is it just me that I'm looking at it? It's on the working group voice section. It's the first channel. It's just called recordings.
Yep.
Ah,
okay.
yeah, I see it.
I think Power is not being used anymore.
So maybe we can just delete that channel as well. And
I would just archive it just in case. All right. Is there something else that you guys would like to discuss about Discord? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Multi-sig updates. So, it's something very simple, which basically is that we will probably have to change the multisig from Communitas. Manu and me are still signers of that multisig, and we think it's more convenient for someone who it's part of the working group currently to be signing in there. So it's open for suggestions who wants to be on that multisig. It's voluntarily. And then there is an update that needs to be done every month when someone requests funds from that multisig to be added to the spreadsheet, and then make the transaction on the multisig, and then request the signers to sign that transaction. So if any of you would like to be in the multisig or can support, probably just send me a DM privately, and then we can talk about it. And then I will request that someone else also take care of the reimbursements and payments through the multisig. So I don't know who wants to take on updating the spreadsheet for the next month and in coming months. It's an open question. Four, three, two.
just a comment. I mean, I think it will be important eventually with all the changes in the TEC and all this to kind of have like and develop a strategy or like a procedure for multisigs and multisig signers. So we have like more safety in place and accountability, and not concentrate things in, like, for example, I don't know, I probably wouldn't be ideal. I think that all the designers would be part of this group only, right? I think we should maybe find a way to distribute that around in some way. But yeah, I don't think this is just strictly related with Communitas, but like the general way in which we want to manage like multisigs.
I
So yeah,
agree.
just mentioning that.
I agree on that, Bert. We have Pam, we have Gideon and Nate. They are the other multisig, and so the idea would be to have. That's why since they are Gideon, it's joining these calls, but Pam and Nate are usually not. So having two people from this working group would sort of balance it out. Mainly because I feel like, as you said, we need people from outside the working group, but we also need people who knows what's going on here, so they can provide support or they can provide feedback, or make sure that the things are done correctly. So that's why at least one single person from this working group could be nice to have change or exchange for my or Manu. So there is on that. So again, the question is the same. If anyone wants to take on updating the spreadsheet, let me know, or just say it now publicly. Both counts. Is there? Yeah.
So I'm willing to, like, I can't take on doing the spreadsheet, but I'm willing to kind of act as like somebody like counsel for that, just to kind of like ask questions and be here for support. So yeah, so I think we need somebody to do kind of the administrative aspect of just tracking, putting the hours in the spreadsheet, which is not super hard. And then I can help, and I can even, if you want, I can help with like getting the signatures signed, I guess. I think. Okay, let me start again. I think that Bear is right. It's kind of crazy. Like TEC is a little bit crazy on this front. We've got all these different processes and all these different working groups. We need to like figure that out and try to come up with some standard process. In the interim, I think I'm willing to help, and I'm happy to help, and but I just can't be like the one who's inputting the data into the spreadsheet.
I can be. I also can be doing that. The thing is that I'm a bit. I don't know if I can handle like all on my own, like the multi-sig and stuff, but definitely like filling up the spreadsheet, I can do that. Like if you help me, like with the other more important stuff.
Sure.
Edu, how many people are there in a multi-sig? I would also definitely be willing to do that. I just don't have experience ever using it. I know you said it's super simple, but can you explain a little bit more how many signers
Yeah.
there are right now and how many ideal? Yeah, how?
So the
If you-
multi-sig,
that'd be-
I will just share this on the screen. So the multisig has almost 15K on our multisig, and basically it's 3 out of 5 in order to make a transaction. So it's a very simple kind of thing to do. And currently we have 5 people signing the multisig, meaning, as I said before, Nate, Tam, Mao, Manu, Gideon, and me. Those are the 5 people who signs, and we only need 3 signers to sign the transaction or to the transaction to pass. So the procedure is very simple. You go here, you just put new transaction. I'm in a read only because I'm not in multi. I'm not in Gnosis Safe. I'm not in Gnosis Chain. So you put new transaction, you put the address, and that's pretty much all. So it's extremely simple. There is no procedure. There's no code to do. It's just that for the matter of transparency, we need to make sure that we are sending to the right person. That's the same that is in the spreadsheet. That is the same that it's on the message requesting. So that's the only thing. So it takes about an hour if you're not experienced to just manually check everything, but that's it. And for example, Gideon a lot of times sort of he makes sure that the person is receiving the right amount. So that helps a lot. And even if it's not Gideon, just anyone else from here, it sort of it's healthy because it sort of helps prevents sort of not that anyone is doing unintentionally this, but you can send to the wrong address and you didn't figure it out. So having 3 people signing helps you be more aware of what you're approving when you approve a transaction. That makes sense?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I would definitely be. I could definitely help you with that. I mean, just replace you or however that works. Changing the wallet address or the signer. Yeah, it doesn't look that complicated. I can learn.
Very quickly, I have a multisig on a testnet that I use to test some stuff. So if any of you want to play with it, just shoot me a DM and I can give you access and we can get on a call and run through how it works.
Thank you, Auntie. Gideon, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, I think in the interim, until we figure out the multi-sig like policy a little bit more on how to standardize this, I just think it's a good idea to have like one person, so on a 3 of 5, I think it's good to have one person who's actually doing the work be one of those signers. Definitely not 3. And I think even 2 is probably not that great, right? Because, so I guess what I'm suggesting is, if you're willing to do that, that's great. And then I'll continue to be on there, and I think Nate is on there. And then I would suggest we get one more person who's not actively involved in the day to day. And like maybe ask Livy or Tam, or maybe not Tam because she's so busy, but or Livy, but maybe just somebody else to do that. Like even somebody who's like not deeply involved, like Bear or NT or somebody, just to kind of help keep that separation between the people who are actually getting the money and the people who are approving on the multi-sig. One, I think, is sufficient, and one is good, but beyond that, I think is a little bit problematic.
Right. Is there any other feedback regarding the multisig? 5, 4, 3.
Yeah. Also, yeah. I mean, yeah. If I haven't like volunteered myself for being in the multisig, but because I would like them for you guys that work more closely in the working group to figure it out first, and also I don't know how much it's gonna be my involvement with the Communitas or in the future. So I'm also thinking on that. But the only thing I wanted to say is that also if you guys Costa and RM need some support with more of the administrative part of things with the multisig, I can also help on that. I'm also doing that in samples, so maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea, and I could totally do it if you guys need that. Okay, so just so you know.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Bear.
Right. So, next topic of the agenda, just to make sure that there is no reputation update, Bear or NT, if you have any update, just to give you space to do so.
Well, yes. I mean, I've been working on this idea of the sample membership. I can share the document. I haven't been able to present it in sample yet. I'm planning on doing it this week, but maybe I could just share it really quickly with you guys, and you can have the link and also comment anything that you think. So right now, Edu, I think that this is what you mean, right? Right now I've been focusing more on this work for the like iteration with the SAMPI membership, and not much with the TC's whole idea of membership. Is that correct? That's what you mean?
Yeah, but no worries. It's just to provide a space in case you had any update. No worries about that.
Okay, yeah, maybe I'll just share the link, and you guys can give it a good look and just leave some comments, and we can keep going with the agenda.
Perfect. See, share it on the Communitas section and take a look. Thank you, Bear. Right. The next topic of the agenda, it's feedback from an orientation call. Guilhem, Costa, just if you wanna if there anything else you would like to talk, change, or mention about the orientation call. That was the first orientation call, just to provide context. That was the first orientation call they took alone, without me being present. So I think Costa has taken ones before with Nate. So I don't know if there's anything you would like to change or provide feedback, just to have a space to talk about that.
Yeah, I was gonna say Nate was a lifesaver for some points, but Iram did a really good job.
Yeah, NT and Nate's they helped a lot, and we did more so kind of like facilitating and just passing it to Nate and NT and me and different talking about different parts and different community layers, etc. I think it worked really well, and it was great. I think I felt it to be also engaging to pass it along to different people. I mean, yeah, not to make it too confusing and too like hectic for the newcomers. Obviously, like we want to have a certain structure, like you said, Edu. But I think it worked well for that. I'm working on updating the orientation presentation a little bit. We talked this with Nate too, and then I'll just show it to him for feedback. Edu, you were already talking about briefly the history of TC, but maybe Nate also mentioned adding a slide about just talking about the hatch, our technical primitives, how TC came about in the first place, just that like adds one slide to that, and just updating it, just a general update. For example, with economic layer, now Sempo is like has been doing and working on a lot of different initiatives, which actually maybe just deserve their own like slide, or just a little bit more detail into those, and just a general update in terms of times and everything, just to make sure it's fully updated. But yeah, I think it went well, and exactly, Nathan and T were lifesavers, so thank you for that.
Thanks. Thank you, Nate. And thank you, Tim. All right. There is a new topic of the agenda that it's new format for community calls. Who wants to talk about this?
Yeah, that's mine. Well, so as we are kicking off and new initiatives and moving a lot of stuff in the community, I've been thinking a lot about community calls and just how we deal with the community overall. And I think that something that would be quite interesting is to have community calls that are sort of oriented at more talking engineering specific stuff. So like I don't know, inviting people from other projects to sort of chat about what are they working on I don't know, maybe say the academy, cat token spice, etc., etc., etc. Like have them present, or maybe we can feed interesting stuff from the creation service into the community calls and yada yada yada. Just trying to move a bit from our current community calls that although I think they are nice and we should keep them, they are not so appealing to the whole community outside contributors. And I guess that's kind of it. Maybe not for now, but I think it's about time that we start thinking about that. So that's it, and I'll open the floor. I don't know if there's any comments about that.
Yeah, I will say that the community call currently is not even appealing for our own contributors. So I will say that having this approach that I see, I think it's also from Sampo, but this approach that is more outwards and inwards, and focusing more about the ecosystem rather than ourselves all the time, I think would be really good for a community call. So I would just call it more like, rather than community call, it's more about ecosystem call, because it will help us to build this, to keep building our reputation about token engineering. And people, unless we are doing an update related to token engineering in our working groups, I don't see the need of having this focus so much on our working groups. Nate?
Yeah. So we had something at the beginning of TEC where we had something called TEC Spotlight that we did for a while. It's something that we would bring in somebody to speak for the last 15 minutes, or strive to do for the last 15 minutes of the call. We'd have them come in, explain their project, and I think it was really appealing for a lot of people. And I don't disagree with bringing that back into the fold. I think that'd be a really good idea. However, when we had our community call would last, sometimes people would go a little bit overboard on their working group updates and all that good stuff. And at the end of the call, they may have had like 5 minutes to present. And so for me, we stopped doing it because, it was kind of, I don't know. Yeah, for me, it's like if you're working on a project, this is your baby, and you're in the token engineering field, we want to highlight you and put you in the spotlight. But if you got 5 minutes to present on something you've, put all your, effort into to explain to the community for the first time, it's a little bit insulting. And so, like, if we did the TEC Spotlight, it's something that somebody needs to kind of carry to really kind of, engage with other projects within the space, but also allow enough time for them to explain things. And so if that means it's 30 minutes that you want to allot them, we need to give them a firm 30 minutes or a firm 15 minutes. With that being said, there are some things that I think should be internally addressed, like focus on internally, things like understanding the praise and reward system, having time for praise, getting rid of the verbal praise is a big contentious thing that we've always had when it comes to revamping our community call format. So those things are really interesting to me. I think we could get rid of the working group updates and say, hey, this is the current initiatives we have. If you're interested, please join them. But like, keep it, we don't have to pass it around to each working group and give the full breadth of what they're doing. But yeah, I think bringing the TEC spotlight back and really focusing on like giving them enough time to explain their project and to kind of just give them updates on the TE ecosystem, I think would be a really good starting point. But we'd have to figure out what happens in that first call. So like, I think the verbal praise lasts about 20 minutes on average. Sometimes it's less. I think today, current community calls, it'll be a lot less, but I would say budget for like 20 minutes, and then we have 10 minutes for like updates, or any type of internal things that need to be addressed with the community, and then have a spotlight. But yeah, I think, those things are things that need to be thought about, but I think it's a really good idea.
Well, go ahead, Ethan.
I really am so happy to hear that recommendation, NT. I think, and Nate, you're, the way that you're structuring the time, I think is really good. The working group updates, I mean, just to emphasize the point, this is an example of us being just too focused on our process. Most people don't care, honestly, about that level of detail. And oftentimes these things go on, and we're repeating some of the same stuff that's always been said. I think that it would be great to have a half hour every time where, if we have to like cut the number of community calls, then that's great. But I think every other week we should be able to do something like this, where we have somebody come in to talk would be super interesting. It's basically, if we think about this as a way to engage people and get them excited, as like an opportunity to learn something new, or it's like, this is a benefit of being part of the community, not having not just like sitting there listening to the long litany of all the little things that we've been doing. So, but I also agree, Nate, that like having like a 10-minute slot that's always there, 10 or 15, probably 10 minutes, where we can just pick one thing or maybe two things at max that the whole community needs to really rally around and pay attention to for that 2-week period. I think that's really important. Just help to tune the signal so that we are helping people to really understand what's important to the community right now.
I've been helping the CatCat guys for a few months running the community calls, and so what we do is it's something around 50 minutes of updates and 45 minutes for the presenter. And so in the 50 minutes, we run every update that's sort of relevant from the working groups at CatCat, or any ecosystem updates. So like I go through Twitter and other platforms to check if there's anything, if anyone has been working on anything important in CatCat, and put it there. And just tell the community that's what's happening, and then the rest of the time is for the presenters. That's been working great, especially because some of these topics are fairly intense. So like I don't know, CatCat has had even people from the Ethereum Foundation, from the Robust Incentives group on the Ethereum Foundation, chat about how they used CatCat to do some modeling around some stuff for Ethereum stuff. So I would really go for something like that, somewhere between 30 and 45 minutes, because I think like honestly, there's not even that much super relevant for the wide community now to even spend 20 or 30 minutes talking about it. Honestly, like if we condense all we are working on that's really relevant to the community, it would probably take 10 minutes or something. And then about things like more internally focused, that I agree a lot. And maybe we can sort of have these community calls. Like right now we have them bi-weekly, so maybe 1 week is like wide community call, and then the other week is more internal, so like how to praise, or I don't know, but something like that.
I will suggest that you just put a very simplistic. I mean, if this has been sort of write down, just put this on the forum, and we can all sort of build feedback there and leave it there for a few days and so on. That's the first thing that I would recommend, to go to the forum and just receive feedback. The second one is that I think the praise. I love the praise. I wouldn't change the praise. But at the same time, I think it's inefficient and repetitive most of the time. And so I will do something like what we did before, but inverted. So before, we basically did is that someone transcribed the praise after the call, and that will be typed on the praise channel. My suggestion is that we sort of centralize the praise, and whoever wants to praise, send the praise to, let's think Irem, just to say something. And everyone's just send her the praise during the week or whatever, and then she or someone who is like who has exciting, like maybe grief or whatever, is the one reading how the community praise members of the community, not individuals praise. No, it's just like, hey, we praise this person because of this, and and it changed a little bit the tone of the praise, and it becomes controlled, because it will be 5 minutes just reading praises, or even less than 5 minutes just reading praises from that week, and we can just sort of pick and focus on someone if we need to focus on someone, or we just a working group if we need to focus, so it become more realistic, and I think it will bring the intention of praise, which is, I think the intention of praise on the community call is to highlight for me, is to highlight on the community something that we cannot highlight on the praise channel. And we are losing that, because we are just everyone sort of start praising someone, and we lose the focus, or we lose that capacity. But if we sort of centralize this into making people someone reading these praises, it will be easier for people to see, oh, actually, yes, this person was praised a lot during that 5 minutes praise session. So I don't know, just a suggestion.
I think that is really cool, actually. And actually, I'd even go I'll inch that forward a little bit more. Like, what if we had the curation service running on praise? And then what happens is, like, encourage people, because actually, if you look at the praise channel, it's like, at least it used to be. Now it's a little bit less, but like back before we started doing payouts, it was really cool. Like, you'd look at the thing, and there was just all this like outpouring of like heartfelt appreciation. And I think it would be really good cultural practice to encourage people to go into the praise channel and read that stuff. And so if people were then reacting with emojis on the praise channel, then all of a sudden we could have a curated feed of that, and then Griff or whoever's doing it's exactly what you're saying, Edu. Then we just highlight, it's like, hey, here's the top 10 praises of the week. Something like that would be kind of cool. And yeah.
Yep, I agree. And it will be also time-wise shorter. So
yeah,
go ahead.
No, I was going to say that I agree with that. I think that as long as we take that time to make sure that we remind people to use their praise, and we can have like good instances of praise and like bad instances of praise, like and just kind of highlight the use of it and try to channel better praise opportunities. I think it's one of those things where it's just like, if we can encourage them to actually type it out so that we don't have to have that transcription, it would be really beneficial. And like you said, time saving, like hugely time saving.
So, and if you can put all this into maybe a forum post, and then we can just push that idea.
I think we could honestly just execute it on this next community call this week and just change the format. Like, I don't know how people feel about that, but like, let's just change the slides up and say, hey, let's try to execute on it.
Okay, we can actually use the next community call to explain this. And maybe the ones here on this call everyone on this call just pick something relevant to praise, and we use this as a test. And maybe if Andy praise someone, Costa praise someone, Gideon praise someone, and then we just put an emoji or something to that praise that we are gonna wanna highlight, maybe a star, whatever it is, I don't know. And then we just tell the reader, hey, these ones are handpicked because we use as a test, and this is how we want this to proceed. I don't know. This is if we are here 1, 2, 4, 6, 7 of us, I think we all can praise someone or something and make it interesting.
One last thing that I think is great about changing this up is that I think it also makes us it increases the accountability for the whole TC to sort of have something to present relevant. Like if we end up in a community call that we have nothing interesting for the whole community to present, that then that's a strong signal of we probably not doing something right. Whereas it's easy to present any small thing that's happening, but it's not that easy to have. Hey, so this week we I don't know we launched the community creation service or whatever. But yeah, so we are going to execute on this right away, or should I write the forum post anyways?
We can do both, and we just, I mean, if we posted it today or tomorrow, and just let people know that it will happen, and we will use this community call as a test ground, I think.
Okay, cool.
By the way, we have 2 minutes left. Sorry to interrupt, but Bye told me that he just deleted the survey bot, Costa them, so there will be no more survey bot arriving to people. Just for you guys to know, and people will start to arrive in. People will start arriving to the Introduce Yourself channel. So just for you to know that the orientation data channel can be archived too.
What do you mean that people will arrive to the Introduce Yourself channel?
Because after verification, we can choose where do people go to. That's the only space that we can choose. We cannot choose anything else.
The only thing that worries me a bit is that I see the newcomers coming in because I get a notification in the orientation data, and then I can write a message to them. But if we delete that, I will not know. We will not know who comes to the server.
Exactly.
Unless they talk.
Yes.
And how will?
That's the idea. That we allow them and give them space to introduce themselves rather than us imposing on them.
Okay.
That's a little bit what we told with Gideon. Top of the hour. Sorry, guys. Nate, sign the transaction on the multisig.
We'll do. We'll do.
Thank you so much for joining today, and I will see you in the community call to see how this goes. Remember to praise. Take care. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, guys.